You spend every day carrying around this massive invisible weight, and you're not expected to talk about it because you're supposed to be the strong one. And when that's true and that weight has nowhere to go, it'll just emerge as anger towards the people you care about. So in this video, I want to talk about what caused that weight in the first place, why we don't feel we can talk about it for, and one thing we can start doing today that will make that weight easier. As a dad myself, when I first started my journey into being a parent, one of the things that I was determined to be was the rock for everybody else. The person my kids and my partner could rely on. I would be there and be solid and dependable and be unshakable for them. I had lots of interests and hobbies, like I used to love going to the football, going to the pub with my mates. And over time, I would give up that time to spend more time being present with my partner, being more present with my kids. Because before I had kids, I wasn't carrying this massive weight everywhere. I had time where I could go and do the things I wanted to do. And the act of going off and doing those things, going to football, going out with my mates, playing darts, whatever it was, those were like a release. Those are the places where if I was getting a bit stressed and a bit fucked off, I could go into those environments, get some of that out, and come back again, not just like feeling better for having been, but like genuinely not feeling as stressed, as tensed, or as angry as I was before I left to go there. But what I see, not just me, but a lot of other dads doing, is they'll give up small pockets of that time. So if it's football, say for instance, and your team's playing 3 home games this month, you might give up, say, going to one of those, right, to start with. And to start with, it's okay because you're like, I'm being the person I wanted to be. My partner's loving it. I'm spending more time with my kids. And like, people around me, like, friends and family are like, you've been a really good dad, I'm really pleased that it's going well for you because you're doing a really good job, And at the start, this taking away from the life you had before, the responsibilities, it doesn't just feel good, but you're getting the praise for doing it. Over time, a weird thing kind of happens. You're taking more away from here. So instead of 3 games a month that you go to, maybe it's 1 now. Maybe it's once every 2 months. But the more you're taking away from here, the less praise and the less recognition you're getting for doing it. But also, the worse you're starting to feel for not having that time anymore. I call this identity spending. And when I say identity spending, I mean taking the time you would have spent doing the things you enjoyed before and spending that time instead on the things that you're now expected to do or you feel responsible for, or that you feel like you'd be letting people down, especially if it's your partner and your kids, especially them. You feel like you'd be letting them down if you didn't do it. If you're not getting to like stop and rest and reset properly, the pressure in that environment to like stay calm, but not just stay calm. Staying calm is like the minimum requirement, right? We're expected to turn up as like the best of ourselves every day. Nobody I know turns up as the best of themselves every day. Nobody I know gets up every morning with a smile on their face and just goes for it and has a wonderful time. Everyone has bad days. But the expectation we've created by identity spending in the first place is we build the association that we are going to continue to be that person, and not just be that person in terms of spending time with and looking after the people that we care for, right? People that depend on us, our kids, our partner, but that we're going to turn up as the best of ourselves in those moments. We build the association of being reliable, of being that dependable rock. And after long enough, what happens is we lose all of the time that was over here that we spent doing the things we wanted to do. And all the time we have left is like work or being at home with the kids. And like, obviously at work, you got to turn up and do the job properly. But again, you need to be like amicable liked enough, not being a massive pain in the ass and losing temper every 5 minutes, or you're not going to keep the job. Then after a long day of doing that, you come home to your partner, to your kids, and they don't want the version of you that's pissed off, so they've been at work all day. They want the best of you because they've missed you. They've missed that time with you while you've been at work, and you want the most. You want more than anything for the time you spend at home to be the best of the best time you can with those people. What I've noticed when it happened to me, and what I see now when it happens to other dads, in particular, but other parents that I see it in, is that by the time they get home, like, yeah, they're in the room physically, but like in reality, they're like a ghost in their own house. They don't get involved properly. Like their kids come up and play with them, and it's like you kind of half-heartedly being involved, if at all, because you're just at a point where there's nothing left to give. And when that happens, it's not that you're being a bad parent, but you feel like you're letting other people down. The reason we don't talk about that feeling, that pressure, is because number one, we're trying to build this reputation in our own house of like, we're the person that we're that rock, we're there for the people that need us, and we're dependable and solid and unbreakable. We like, at the end of the day, we're like the protector of the house, right? If something happens, we got to be there. We got to step up and make sure that we are the person we're needed to be by the people who need us. That doesn't give a lot of room for then saying, actually, do you know what? I am fucking shattered. I have had enough. I'm getting like pissed off. I might not be saying it, but I'm getting pissed off with like the way the kids are playing up. I'm getting pissed off with work. Like, no day just feels easy anymore. Being that person that's there for everybody else does not give you that time to have those conversations. Over time, you build what I call a pressure iceberg. The pressure iceberg, the way I think of it, right? If you think of an iceberg itself, right? The iceberg, the bit above the water, is the part everybody sees. And those are the parts you can speak to, right? Like, if work was shit and you like bump into one of your mates at the shop or whatever, right? Or you're talking to your partner at home, and they're like, "How was work?" And you're like, "Oh, Gary was being a pain in the ass and that," and you can talk to that because people know about that. If your kids are playing up, likewise, it works the other way around. If your kids are playing up over the weekend, you go back to work on a Monday, and it's like, "How was your weekend?" You're like, "Oh man, I'll tell you what." You can be relatable about the things people understand. You can speak freely, or you can speak more freely to the things people know about. But the other half of the iceberg, the much larger section that fits under the water, that's the part that you keep to yourself. That's the pressure you're putting on yourself. That's the pressure other people are putting on you. Those moments where you're like, I'm failing as a parent because I'm not really in the room, or I keep snapping up my kids and I promised I wouldn't be like that. That's a different level of pressure entirely. That pressure is like the hardest part of this whole problem. The reason for that I found was that it combines like the hurt that you're feeling, the anger, the hurt that you're feeling, and the truth, the logic. Because if you get angry with your kids, you're not supposed to do that. If you fire off at somebody at work, you're not supposed to do that. So the logic, the truth is, yeah, I shouldn't be doing that. But actually, it's made so much worse by like how it's feeling, how you're feeling when that happens, how you're feeling after that happens. If I snap at my kids, right? If I snap at my son, yeah, he's 10, right? If I snap at him, I come away from that feeling like a real piece of work, you know? I come away from that thinking like I'm showing him that when life gets too hard, you got to have a go at somebody, which is exactly what my dad was like. And I don't want him turning out like me. But if there's nowhere to talk about it, or there's nothing to kind of break up all this pressure, it's not going to change. It's just going to get worse. I tried so many different things out there, but most of the stuff that I found is like meditating. I don't do meditation, or journaling is another really popular one. I did try the journaling. I remember it clearly. I bought a little A5 pad, right, and a little packet of pens, and I put it out in the kitchen when I got home from work. Put it out in the kitchen, and I thought, that's right. At the weekend, I'll have a look at that, and we'll see how it goes. I never opened it. I never opened it because by the time the weekend had come around, my boy had got into my pens, and they were like missing, or under his bed or wherever like that, and all of it was gone. The paper was still there, the bits that hadn't been drawn on, but I never gave it a go. I never tried it. A lot of the things that I saw, different like ways of managing your stress, they felt more like more tasks, like more things to have to do just to take the weight off myself. But what I realized quite quickly is that if you're in a position where actually you're already past your limit, you don't want to be taking on more stuff. You don't want to be doing more shit to feel better. You just want something that works now. And more to the point, you want something that works now without having to like upset anybody by taking the time away from them. Because the whole point of what you do by being that dependable rock is that you're there for them. So if you're off doing whatever it is you're doing, right, trying to feel better again, you're not being there for them. So then you're failing them again. After all of this, I did find a way. And I didn't read about this. I didn't find this online. I survived long enough to stumble across this. That's the truth. People talk about like, oh, I developed this over years. Well, no, I survived and scrapped through life long enough to find this. And it wasn't like a well thought out, carefully planned thing. It was just like desperation. What I call it now is a shared reset. Now, a shared reset can look like a few different things. But if you're a dad or a parent that goes out to work in particular, I'll give you an example. And if you're a dad that stays at home or you work from home, I'll give you an example as well. So for the dad that goes out to work or the parent that goes out to work, a really good example of this is the drive to work or the drive home from work, right? That time is yours. Now, I know you're doing something you need to do by going to or going from work, right? So it's not like you can go off to the pub in that time. You can't have back the like proper time you had over here, okay? One of the things I used to do was going to concerts. So when I have that time now, if I'm like taking my kids to school, in instance, because I work from home, so if I'm taking my kids to school or picking them up, after I've dropped them off or before I get to the school to pick them up again, I will blare the music I used to love going to concerts and listening to through the car, and like I will just be a one-man rock concert all the way to the school, to the shops, to work, wherever it is. It's like Green Day, Foo Fighters, Bring Me the Horizon, Linkin Park, Red Hot Chili Peppers, all of that, all the stuff I used to love listening to. I haven't been and seen all of them live, by the way, just so we're completely clear. But all the music that I used to love listening to, I'll just stick that on and just like I'll just sing along and get really into it. Because like what I found was the more you like let go and the more you really lean into that one man rock concert vibe, it's like a release. It is. It sounds weird, but like if you properly go for it, and I mean like roll the windows up so no one can hear you and absolutely belt it out, it helps because you're taking that repressed, stressed energy and forcing it out through the one man rock concert idea, right? If you are somebody that works from home or you're a stay at home parent, or if you are a working parent who is with their kids at the weekend, this one applies to you because this is about the kids. A shared reset when you're with your kids or when you're at home is fundamentally different because the time is not yours. That's the one thing. If you're this dependable rock, if you're the person people can rely on, the time isn't yours. What I found when my kids want to play with me is that at the start, I'm like, oh, I just don't want to do it. Like, I know I should do it. And actually, in an ideal world, I do want to do it. But in that moment when they're asking, and I'm knackered and I'm like stressed and I'm fed up and I've had enough, I don't want to do it. I don't want to sit there and play with them. But the shared reset works by taking something that's true to you or something you enjoy and bringing it into that environment. One way I found of doing that with the kids was like my youngest, right, my daughter, she loves like Bluey, for example, right? But there's all these different programs out there that my kids love watching. They try and get me to replicate the stuff in it. So one of my daughter's biggest ones is Mr. Tumble. I don't know if any other parents out there, any other dads out there have kids that watch Mr. Tumble. I work from home. So in the mornings, I have to look at his face every day. And I don't like it at all. I hate the program with a passion. But my daughter, who's 3 in a couple of weeks from now, at the time of recording this, she loves it. Oh yeah, she can't get enough of it, right? So she'll run over to me and try to honk my nose like they do with on the TV, yeah. But I because I know she likes it, because I know she'll find it funny, and I know I'll get that feeling of like this is the dad I wanted to be. I'll just fully commit to it. Like, I love it because the thing is, it always makes her laugh, and that's bringing in what I want into the environment. The thing I like is being responsible for seeing their happiness, doing something that's making them happy, and knowing that I'm doing that. You can't you can't describe the feeling to somebody that's not a parent, can you? When it's like they're having the time of their life, and you know for a fact that you're not responsible entirely for that necessarily, but like you're part of the reason why that's the case. It's the best feeling. That's why we started identity spending in the first place. If, however, in the evenings after work, or if you're a stay at home parent or whatever it is, while the kids are gone to bed, whatever's going on, right? If you've got pockets of time where you're doing a small task at home, because at home I found is like where it matters most. If I go to work and lose my temper with Gary, well, Gary will still be there tomorrow. We'll probably call each other a few names and have a laugh, and it'll all be all right again. When it's your kids, when it's your partner, especially like if your kids are still awake, that's worse, man. That hurts. That carries you around for days, if not longer than that. So at home, a really good couple of ways of doing this is like doing the dishes. If you do the dishes at home, or like say for instance, your partner cooks and you clean up, try taking out your phone and putting on a bit of music, or like an audio book you might like. Maybe there's a podcast you like listening to. Me and my partner, she really loves true crime podcasts, so we listen to those. Or like maybe there's some football highlights from the weekend on your phone, whatever it might be, right? Get something on your phone that you like and make that part of what you're doing. Because for that moment, you're reconnecting with the person you were over here. And the more times you spend reconnecting with that person that you were before when life wasn't so hard, the easier things around you get. I'm not saying they change overnight. You no, not never ever going to hear me say it changes overnight, because real life just doesn't work like that. There's no way. I'm pretty sure there's no way on this earth that you can go from being in the thick of it and feeling like crap to just suddenly feeling better overnight. Because I'm pretty sure if someone had that by now, we'd all know about it. They'd be the richest person on planet Earth, and videos like this just wouldn't need to be made. What I can promise you is these resets is that enough taken over time get you to a place where you can see the shouting coming. You can see the moments where like you're getting fed up or you're tired, and because you can see it coming from further away, you have the control now. You have the power to do something about that. I'm not going to say what that is because everyone's life is different. I could speak to the things that I do, and if you would like to know about that, let me know in the comments, and I'll make a video on that for you. But if in the meantime you want a small sheet, right? I think it's 3 pages of A5, a reset guide for you to take with you that's completely free. The link is in the top of the description, and if you take it on with you and you find value in it, and you found value in this video, then all of it's done its job. For now, though, until the next video, my name is Daniel Mottram. I really hope you found value in this. If there are any other things that you're struggling with or that you feel like is kind of harder than it should be, let me know in the comments, and I shall try and make some videos on that as well, all right? Until the next one, my name is Daniel Mottram. I can't wait to catch you in the next video.